Right, well, for staying with business today. Now, in a globally competitive business environment, Kenya is fighting for its fair share by attracting investments. Now, the recent entrant, Intelli Media Networks Africa. I talked with, Noki Kemboy talked with Alex Chisosi and started by asking him how the company ended up setting up in the country.
Intelli Media Network is a company based in the United States with offices in California and Virginia. We have a tech office in India that has about 200 personnel. We are woman-led. It's very important to know that we are a woman-led organization. Our CEO, Jane Ekitala, previously in Agritech, has joined us with a wealth of experience to propel this company to new heights. Maybe I'll tell you briefly how Intelli Media came to be. Last year, after our president ascended to power, he led a delegation to Washington during the Africa-US Summit. And the leadership of this country implored on investors to come and set shop in Nairobi. And true to form, Intelli Media heeded the advice, took the cue, and they are now fully set up in Nairobi. So about Intelli Media, it is a company that offers or provides affordable, cost-effective, and secure solutions, especially in the field of education, media distribution, event management or event broadcast, but very importantly, what you mentioned, connectivity. I want to argue and put it to you that Africa is on the brink, or rather the cusp of tech transformation, and that is the area we are playing into.
Okay.
Exactly.
That's very important you've mentioned, connectivity. When you talk about, Africa being the continent that is holding the future and the present, look at the population that we have, look at the potential that, the projections are always for Africa. For connectivity now, specifically, what solution are you bringing on the table, especially for this market?
I will mention a company called Pente, which we are extremely integrated with. It's they are our partners. Pente is our partner on the connectivity piece. Of course, I'll not do justice to this subject without mentioning the name of Avi Cohen. You know LiveView because you're a broadcaster. Mm-hmm. Avi Cohen is the person who changed the landscape, broadcast landscape, from OB vans, which had a crew of about 20, 30, lighting equipment, sound equipment, and decimated all that into a backpack. And live transmission, as it's known today, is because of Avi Cohen, that it took his knowledge and innovation to move live broadcast from OB vans to just a backpack. Yeah. So the same gentleman, Avi Cohen, runs a company called Pente Networks. As it sits today, connectivity, you only achieve connectivity through cellular towers. And to set up a cellular tower, you need to do surveys, get wayleaves, import steel, set up concrete works, put it up. That's how you achieve connectivity. Another way of doing or achieving connectivity or setting up a network is via fiber optics, which involves a lot of civil works, digging, and all that. Now, what Pente has come up with is a private cellular solution that basically desires to bridge the digital divide, demystifying all those things and just using a box to set up a network. So number one is very cheap. It bridges that technological gap we was talking about. When earlier on we talked about the tech cars. It's going to illustrate that now connectivity can be achieved in very far-flung areas, in rural areas, just using a box. Where is it set up? In a matter of hours, you have connectivity. As opposed to, is actually the antithesis of Wi-Fi, where you need a lot of human capital, steel, brick, mortar, all those things are going to be a thing of the past. So this one brings, and besides, it's very safe because it has very top-notch security encryption, a lot of security protocols, high-level security protocols. So it's very safe. You see, just 2 weeks ago we had breaches and hackings. So that is going to be something of the past with this solution.
And I'm glad, when you reduce a whole OB van into a backpack, it's very sensible. But at the same time, the disruption that technology brings is impact on jobs. So if people see 6 people who are working at an OB van, all of a sudden that job has been reduced to 1. And now you're bringing this particular, connectivity solution that we are not doing mass anymore for connectivity. We just need a box. In regards to the value, the benefits that could be accrued and the ripple effect in regards to creating jobs for Kenyans, where does that stand?
Remember, this is going to enhance efficiency in enterprises, reaching out to Kenyans or enhancing their standards of living. Because you remember, in far-flung areas, schools will be connected, health centers, entertainment locations, even the very basic, what is it called, social media. Yeah, so there'll be other areas that can empower or create jobs through this solution. So it's not that it's going to disadvantage people. Yeah, the ripple effect is much more than employing people on sites.
Definitely. Yeah. And looking at this particular government, the bottom-up economic transformation model, one of their key pillars is, utilization of internet connectivity. They call it the digital superhighway. Talk to me how this particular solution fits into that bigger vision that as a country we have. What
I'd call the pledge, because it's there in the plan, which I have read extensively. And all I could say is that our solution augments what the government, led by President William Ruto, is trying to achieve. Because the entire digital pledge is try to bridge this gap I was telling you, the digital divide, breaching the technological gap. Because in the past, people thought connectivity and technology was a reserve of the affluent. Now, our president wants to demystify that and take connectivity and digital services to the common mwananchi in far-flung areas, in rural areas, basically including everybody to this connectivity, remembering that connectivity is now like water, electricity. It is so critical to lives, you can't do away with. So it's a serious utility. So just to answer your question is, if we have this solution that then takes connectivity to the rural area, we will be working in collaboration because we have a collaborative approach. The president has set the pace. We are very happy that he had the digital agenda in his pledge, and he's doing very well so far. So this solution is just coming to enrich his pledge.
You've talked about collaborative approach, which is very important. You have to partner with Kenyans and key institutions. And recently we saw you guys, together with Konza, Technopolis, penning down an agreement. Maybe talk to us a little bit about that and what impact that is supposed to have.
That is true. Last week we signed a memorandum of understanding, but we are with the Konza Technopolis Development Authority that will partner in the areas of education, same connectivity we're talking about, events, broadcasting, and the content distribution. So I'll not want to talk much about the finer details because still at MOU level, but we'll have solutions crafted together with Konza, with Africa, particularly Kenyans in mind.
That's very important. Hopefully, as time goes by, we'll get the finer details of that particular agreement. So you talk about this connectivity solution. The affordability question is also comes in handy. That is one, because you're bringing all this mass into a box. Very interesting, very convenient. How about affordability?
I first started by telling you the cost of installing connectivity via what will very soon become the traditional way of cellular towers and fiber. I went ahead to tell you that with our solution, you just need a box and a few hours. That already will reduce very drastically the cost of installing or achieving connectivity, which will be passed on to the masses. So definitely the cost of connectivity will come down.
Okay, definitely. And as we come to the final end of this discussion, the policy environment, I think as a company, in fact, you talked about the president going to the United States, urging them, you come set up companies and create value within the country itself. In terms of that policy environment that enables especially tech companies to set up in Kenya and thrive, how much stride have we seen over the years? Because you've been in tech for a very long time. What changes have we seen over the years?
Basically, you're talking about the ease of doing business in Kenya, entry. I think the government has done very well in that regard. Getting visas and permits to work and operate here is not very tedious. So I allowed the government, and given that technology is on top of the agenda, so we'll see more companies come to set up in Nairobi. And given that is a gateway to Africa, a continent that the next few years will have 3 billion people, and we are the pace setters in terms of technology. Remember, M-Pesa was born here. So we want this connectivity piece to also emanate from Kenya as it spreads to other African countries.
Definitely. So Intel Media, connectivity solutions, is there a rollout plan across the country so far? When should we be expecting these boxes to reach those far-flung areas you're talking about?
Very good question. This is August on 22nd and 23rd. We have a big team coming from New York to train our resellers and partners at the Kenya Commercial Bank Leadership Center. We so far have enrolled about 100 techies and salespeople. So after that, we will inform you about the rollout plan. But we start there first, because new technology, we have to get skills, we have to train our resellers and technical staff.
Definitely. Thank you very much, Alex. I think this has been a good conversation and a lot to follow up on, as you've rightly put it. Initial plans being laid right now. We're looking forward to see, those mass being reduced to boxes and that convenience that comes with technology when you talk about, cellular connectivity. And you call them private cellular network. Sounds very fancy, but also very, very relatable. But I appreciate you for your input.
Thank you very much, sir.
Right, with that, we've come to the end of this edition of Business Today. My name is Kelvin Nyakundi. BUA KTN is coming up next.